Hi, Mark.
Hi, Matt.
Alrighty. First of all, I just wanted to thank you so much for talking to us at User-Created Content. We're huge fans of BioWare and Mass Effect in general, so...
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm honored to be a small part of that fine game.
Yeah. But before we get into your amazing voice work on the Male Commander Shepard, I wanted to ask you about your improv and comedy shows, what else you're working on right now, and how it's going.
Right now we're just getting ready to film the third season of Caution May Contain Nuts for APTN.
Okay.
And we just actually found out that yesterday that we got nominated for 4 Alberta Film and Television Awards by the Ambias.
Wow, congratulations. That's really good to hear.
Thanks very much. That's a sketch comedy show, of course, and I've got my regular weekly improv stuff going on. Dynasty is in its 20th season this year, and it's been a fantastic season. We're really liking this one. And of course, there's just the regular improv shows with Rapid Fire Theater, including Improv Dungeons and Dragons, which we just started, which I am the dungeon master of.
See, that must be super fun. Tickle the nerd bone.
Oh yeah. We engage in highly intense improvised nerdery.
Yeah, I know I spotted you briefly in Fubar 2.
Yeah, I was in Fubar 2, and that was great. I knew Dave and Paul, the stars of Fubar 2, before from the improv world, actually, so it was really nice to get to work with them on the film. And they actually were using the same building for their production offices as we were when we were shooting the second season of Caution May Contain Nuts, so it all just sort of came together there.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
Being the TV show and the movie at the same time, there was conflicts were able to be sorted out, so.
Cool. That being said, with all your other work, is Commander Shepard still your most recognizable role?
I would have to say so. I'd say just the reach of Mass Effect and how successful it's been. Clearly it's the biggest project that I've ever been involved with.
Oh.
And really, ultimately, it's a dream job for me because I play video games anyway, and specifically RPGs. So getting to be the main voice, I should say half of the main voice of the lead character is a real thrill for me. And of course, it's a thrill to be the other half of Jennifer Hale because she is one of the best voice artists in North America.
Yeah. I've heard that. When I play Mass Effect, I actually played as the male character, but I've heard that her voice acting is spectacular as well.
Oh, she is. I have to say, hats off to Jennifer Hale. She is excellent, and as I say, I'm honored to be the other half of her.
Now, when you initially auditioned for BioWare, what game was it for?
My very first BioWare game?
Yeah.
That would have been Baldur's Gate 2.
Oh, okay.
Back in, I think, 99 or so.
Okay. And
so this would have been Baldur's Gate 2, Shadows of Om. And in that, I had exactly one line, and I was in the final cutscene of the game.
Oh, so you set up the ending.
So you had to play the entire game and beat it to hear my one line.
What was that?
Sorry?
What was your line?
There is no need for concern. The fate of this fall is sealed.
Oh.
Or something along those lines. That was an evil ball cleric, I think.
That's good. So you were the closure on the game.
I was, yeah. I was sort of and stay tuned for further games from BioWare.
Yeah.
And then after that, immediately after that, I did Baldur's Gate 2, Throne of Ball, where I played Cyric. I don't know if you're that familiar with the Forgotten Realms franchise.
Not myself. That's actually more of Raman Ostad's probably his field.
Yeah, well, he'll know who Cyric is. Cyric was the newly appointed god of murder in that Dungeons and Dragons universe.
Oh yeah.
So that was great, and from there I kept going back, doing it seemed like increasing amounts of work. When you're starting with one line, obviously you're going to be getting increasing amounts of work.
Yeah.
But I did Neverwinter Nights and some stuff on Kingmaker. I did some demo stuff for Knights of the Old Republic, the first Star Wars game they did.
Oh, wow. Obviously you built quite a bit of a rapport with BioWare, so how did it come around to you landing Mass Effect?
Well, actually, when I first started working on Mass Effect, I was brought in the developmental stages of the game. I was actually designing sound sets for actors, just determining how all the alien races would sound.
Okay.
Just how do the Solarians sound? What's the cadence of a typical Krogan speech? What do their voices sound like? And basically building from the ground up, looking at early concept Salarian, for example, is different, but they do have a common base, so I was the guy who was, like, establishing that. Then they asked me to audition for Shepard, and I'll be honest, I didn't think anything of it. It was like, okay, but we all know I'm just going to end up playing aliens in this, because that's what I tended to sort of specialize in before, was monsters and aliens and bad guys and stuff like that. So I was as surprised as anyone when I got it. I was thrilled.
Oh, wow. I would be too.
Yeah. That said, I still enjoy the fact that I get to do, like, for example, in Mass Effect 2, I was all of the Vorcha, and those are fun, because, you know, they're the sort of screechy alien monster voices. So, like, those kind of voices are what I like doing, like various monsters and stuff. And I have since then done that for Dragon Age Awakenings. I was all of the talking Darkspawn, for example, in that game.
Oh, cool. As an actor, is it hard to find the voice for a character with such a broad range of emotions or responses that essentially get left up to the player?
Well, see, yeah, that is ultimately the thing. That is the challenge, like, for both Jennifer Hale and myself. Shepard is unlike a typical character that you'd voice. It's one of the first times that the player character has been given a voice, and you have the opportunity to shape essentially what their personality is like, how they respond to different situations. So, again, like with the extremes of Renegade and Paragon, Shepard could be a completely selfless individual who's always trying to do the right thing, or just a completely ruthless bastard who's willing to do anything to get the job done. And so you have to find a voice that would potentially fit with both of those characters. And we do have the advantage of having a base that Shepard is, you know, in the military. We know certain things about Shepard that are always true.
Yeah.
But even, you know, the various different types of backgrounds beyond Renegade and Paragon, you know, the different histories you can choose for Shepard, that's going to change the character as well.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of finding a voice that can suit a wide range of experiences and outlooks.
Alrighty. Did you meet any of Mass Effect 1's other voice actors? And in particular, did you work with Jennifer Hale on the presentation of what was essentially the same character and dialogue?
Well, it is the same character, but keep in mind, you know, it's male and female, so men and women are different. So,
yes.
So we're going to approach the character in different ways. But I did not actually get to meet Jennifer in person, sadly. Lance Henriksen actually is one of my few co-stars that I've actually met since working on the game that I didn't know beforehand. I mean, there's many people from Edmonton, of course, that I knew, and a few actors. Josh Dean, for example, who lives in Los Angeles. I was friends with him before. But yeah, Lance was the only one of my sort of major co-stars that I've met since. I'm looking forward to possibly meeting some of them in the future, but who knows?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's got to be one of the major challenges when you're doing a game across a few different studios, and obviously actors in LA are doing roles as well. So.
Yes, I mean, I went down to LA for some of the early recording stuff. I mean, but the thing is that my director's here, so we do most of it of my recording in Edmonton.
Okay.
And yeah, for the most part, you know, the actors, unless they happen to cross paths, they don't meet in the course of making the game.
Oh.
I ran into Lance Henriksen at DragonCon, actually.
Oh, okay.
And luckily enough, my friend Nathan Fillion was there at the time, and he was, you know, doing the autograph signing and stuff. So I was there with Nathan. Got to meet Lance before they'd opened the hall, so it was in a much more relaxed and comfortable setting than a convention like that usually is. So, you know, got to have a nice little chat with him about voice acting, and he actually was talking to me about when he did Tarzan for Disney. He and Glenn Close had all these scenes together, and they didn't meet at all. They never. I think they eventually ran into each other at one of the premieres.
Oh, wow. That's going to be really cool to meet someone, you know, who your character has interacted with in the game later and be able to actually talk about both of your performances.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we didn't really talk about our performances that much, just voice acting in general. And for me, I was a little starstruck just because I've always been a fan of Lance Henriksen. Like, he's a great character actor, and he's in some of my favorite movies. There's an obscure one, Near Dark. It's like one of the best vampire movies ever made, and he's in it. And I loved that movie as a kid, so it was a real thrill to get to meet him in person.
Oh, that's so cool. Now, Mass Effect 2 blew everyone out of the water. Being a bigger experience, how was portraying Commander Shepard in the sequel different from the first game?
There was much
Oh, I can imagine.
I got to be in the booth a lot more.
Yeah.
Essentially. And of course, the reason there's so much more dialogue is because they allowed decisions that you made in Mass Effect 1 to impact what would happen in Mass Effect 2. So there's entire storylines that would never even get touched. If you, for example, killed a character in the first game, you wouldn't see them or any of their storylines in the second game, but we would record all that just in case you hadn't killed them. So there was a wide range of possibilities. Sort of like, just branching out into all the various alternate universes of what could happen according to decisions that you make in Mass Effect 1, then Mass Effect 2, and now we'll see all that pan out in Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, that's actually a good time for one of our Twitter questions from Nate, who is at EditWithMouse on Twitter. He wanted to ask you how many lines of dialogue do you record and how many variations you need to do?
I couldn't tell you an exact number. My director could tell you the number. I know that we average about 250 to 300 lines per full session, and there's lots of those. So there's thousands of lines, thousands of thousands.
Between Renegade and Paragon, which is more fun to voice for you, and which is actually more fun to play once you have the game in your hands?
Well, in RPGs, and I've mentioned this in other interviews, but I tend to play Renegade or Evil first. Like, I'll always pick, the dark side, Sith option, or what have you, and play the most evil person first, and then on my second playthrough I play good. And in a sense, it feels like I'm redeeming myself when I play it like that. As an actor, you have to give equal weight to both lines, whether it's Renegade or Paragon. But if I'm going to be honest, Renegade's more fun.
Yeah, no, always.
Yeah. Just like playing bad guys is usually more fun than playing good guys.
Could you walk me through an average day of recording at BioWare?
Well, average day, I arrive at the studio. Generally, we do no longer than 4-hour sessions, sometimes 6-hour sessions, because, your voice just gets tired, and stuff that you record at the end ends up not sounding the same as stuff at the beginning. So, yeah, I'll get there usually in the early afternoon, have a little chat with the director, make some tea, and then get into the booth and be there for about 4 hours or so. And as the lead in playing Commander Shepard, I have the advantage that often other people will have recorded their dialogue first. So when I get in the booth, I'm actually playing with their recorded voices. So it is like doing the scene.
Yeah.
So, it's easier than doing it into a vacuum.
Do you have to do lines like that as well, where you don't get to hear the other side yet?
Occasionally, yeah. I mean, sometimes you have to take the lead, and the other people will have the advantage, depending on various actors' schedules and whatnot, or whether scenes are written or not at that point. So essentially, yeah, you're as Shepard. I usually have the other people's voices. Oh,
that's good. Is playing the games yourself quite an experience when you get to hear both sides of the conversation in game and get to hear the responses?
Well, again, playing Mass Effect for me isn't quite as fun as it might be for somebody else, because as soon as I start a mission, I start remembering all the various ways it could end.
Oh, yeah.
And knowing, so, I don't have a photographic memory or anything, but once you actually start a mission, it's like, oh yeah, this is the one where this can happen or this can happen. I know both ways it can end.
Yeah, I guess there's no such thing as spoiler-free for you, eh?
Yeah, sadly not. I guess, because I'm playing Shepard, I'm privy to a lot of the details of the plot. Compare that to, say, Dragon Age, where I can play that and then just run across myself as, some demon or bad guy or something, and then kill myself and move on without knowing too much of the actual plot.
Yeah, what's been your favorite conversation to record, and do you have any good blooper stories?
Well, I did enjoy all the stuff that, and I know they're popular with fans, the scenes with the reporter and with Conrad Werner, because both of those actors who play those roles are actually friends of mine, so that was fun.
Oh yeah, I imagine that would be really fun.
Yeah, that was quite good. Getting to threaten my friend Jeff or punch out my friend April was pretty fun.
How does voice acting for a video game differ from your stage and radio work? Does the stage trump the sound booth?
Well, I mean, obviously, when you're on stage, you're getting direct feedback from a live audience, so that's a lot more fun as a performer. That said, it's very
Pajamas.
And just sort of roll in and not have to worry too much about how you look, and rather just concentrate on the vocal performance, and have nice cups of tea while you do it. Soothing lemon ginger stuff.
You gotta soothe the larynx, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Are there? I mean, I know this is probably a no, but are there any tidbits you can drop about the fate of Commander Shepard? And if not, how do you personally feel about what you've seen so far from Mass Effect 3?
I'm afraid I cannot drop any tidbits due to my non-disclosure agreement with BioWare and the small explosive they put in the base of my skull. They just have to press a button and I'm done. So I'm not saying anything. However, what I have seen is great. I will tell you that. I've been really enjoying the stuff that I've been seeing so far.
Oh, good. That actually makes me super excited. You're fueling my hype train. All right,
well, I mean, obviously you've seen the trailer and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, actually the trailer that was at the Spike Video Game Awards blew my mind, because for a second I actually thought that they were going to be doing a new IP and pushing Mass Effect 3 back. It's kind of a very misleading trailer.
Oh, right, just because of the unfamiliar character at the beginning.
Yeah, I know, and it almost got me, but yeah, I'm so excited that there is actually Mass Effect 3 is coming at the end of this year. I'm going to be able to finish the story I've been working on for years. All right, well, a last few softballs. Is there anything any games you're playing right now or excited to play soon?
I recently got Undead Nightmare for the Red Dead Redemption expansion pack, so I've been enjoying shooting zombies in the Old West.
Me too, actually. I picked that up not too long ago. I actually just got one of the 4 Horses of the Apocalypse that you can wrangle up.
Yeah, I've run across them, but I've not managed to lasso them yet. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that. I mean, I have finished the game already, but I've gone back and played a little more. Let's see. Oh, I mean, Dragon Age 2. I just got through that a little while ago, and I'm looking forward definitely to Arkham City.
Oh yeah, me too. If there was any game character you could voice from another series, new or old, who would it be and why?
Well, I've always had a soft spot for comic books, so I'd love to voice anything in the a comic book related video game.
Oh yeah, that would be sweet.
And again, I always have a soft spot for the bad guys, so I'll aim right for the top of the heap and say Dr. Doom.
You want to be Dr. Doom?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll give him an accent and everything.
We have to see another Fantastic Four game.
Yes, well, they may reboot that franchise too.
Yeah.
They seem to be doing that with everything these days, so.
All right, Mark. That's almost everything that I wanted to ask you. Was there anything that I didn't ask that you wanted to add or touch on about voice acting or Mass Effect?
Oh, no, I think we covered all the bases.
Oh, alrighty. Well, I wanted to thank you very much again for coming on to the show and talking with me. And also let you know, we do record downtown Edmonton every Sunday, so if you ever did want to be on the show personally and meet myself and the rest of the gang, just let me know.
Oh, sure, man. Yeah, like maybe closer to when ME3 is coming up.
Yeah, of course, yeah. That would be excellent. It'd be a great time, and I know how busy you must be now until then, but if you ever do have some time, we're every Sunday.
Sure.